Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading chapter 18, the conclusion, the perfection of renunciation, text number 49. Hare Krishna, Sharnagat Mataji. Please take over the call now. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Welcome, everyone. We will start with a Mangalacharan prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanshcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitan Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarupesya Kripa Sindhupyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees. So we are reading chapter 18 and today we will cover few verses which are talking about the Jnana Yoga. So Halada Das Prabhuji, please kindly help us recite 49, 50 up to 53. Only verses, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hey, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanyavad. So it's a chapter 18, text number 49. It's on page 691 on English Bhagavad Gita. Towards Asakta Buddhihi Sarvatra Jitatma Vigataspriha Naiskarmyam Siddhim Paramam Sannyasena Asakta Buddhihi Sarvatra Jitatma Vigataspriha Naiskarmya Siddhim Paramam Sannyasena. Text number 50. Siddhim prapto yata brahma tata prapnoti nibodhame. Samase naiva konteya nistagyanasa yapara. Siddhim prapto yata brahma tata prapnoti nibodhame. Samase naiva konteya nistagyanasa yapara. Text number 51. Buddhya visuddhaya yukto dhrutyatmana niyamya cha sabdadin visayam styaktva ragadvesho vyadushya cha. Buddhya visuddhaya yukto dhrutyatmanam niyamya cha sabdadin visayam styaktva ragadvesho vyadushya cha. Text 52. Vivikta sevi lagvasi yat vakaya manasah dhyana yogo paro nityam vairagyam samapashita. Vivikta sevi lagvasi yat vakaya manasah dhyana yogo paro nityam vairagyam samapashita. Text number 53. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodam parigraham vimuccha nirmamah shanto brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodam parigraham विमुच्य निर्ममः शांतो ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते. Hare Krishna Mataji. Please try it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So text number 49. असक्त बुद्धिं सर्वत्र जितात्मा विगत स्पृहः नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धिं परमां संन्यसेनाधिगच्छति. Text 50. सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्म तथाप्नोति निबोध मे समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा. Text 51 to 53. बुद्ध्या विशुद्धया युक्तो धृत्यात्मान् नियम्य च शब्दादीन् विषयांस्त्यक्त्वा रागद्वेषो विदस्य च विविक्तसेवी लग्धांशी यत वाक्कायमानसः ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः अहंकारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममः शांतो ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते. हरि बोल कृष्ण.
Good, very good. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sumati is reading text number 49. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigita स्पृहः नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धिं परमां संन्यासेनाधिगच्छति. Text 50. सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्मा तथाप्नोति निबोध मे समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा. Text 51 to 53. बुद्ध्या विशुद्धया युक्तो धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च शब्दादीन् विषयांस् त्यक्त्वा रागद्वेषव्युधस्य च विविक्त्वा सेवी लघ्वाशी यथा वाक्कायमानसा ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तो ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते. हरे कृष्णा.
Very
Prasad
nice.
reading. Yes, Roji, go ahead. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Prasad reading. असक्त बुद्धि सर्वत्र जितात्मा वेगस्प्रह नैष्कर्म सिद्धि परमा संन्यासेनाधिगच्छति. टेक्स्ट नंबर 50. सिद्धि प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्मा तथाप्नोति निबोध मे समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा. टेक्स्ट नंबर 51 to 53. वृद्धा विशुद्धया युक्तो धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च शब्दादिविनियस्तक्त्वा रागद्वेषे व्युदस्य च विविक्तसेवी लब्ध्वासि यत् वाक्यायमानसः ध्यानोपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः अहंकारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्मः शांतो ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Namaste reading 18.49. असक्त बुद्धिः सर्वत्र जितात्मा विगतस्पृहा नैष्कर्म्यं सिद्धिं परमां संन्यासेनाधिगच्छति. Text number 50. सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्म तथाप्नोति निबोध मे समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा. 51 to 53. बुद्ध्या विशुद्धया युक्तो धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च शब्दादीन् विषयान् त्यक्त्वा रागद्वेषो व्युदस्य च विविक्तसेवी लघ्वाशी यत्त वाक्कायमानसः ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः अहंकारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममं शांतो ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते। हरे कृष्णा।
Vikas Prabhu, would you like to recite?
हरे कृष्ण। असक्त बुद्धि सर्वत्र जितात्मा विगत नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धि परमां संन्यासेनाधिगच्छति। सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्म तथाप्नोति निबोध मे। समासेनैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा। बुद्ध्या विशुद्ध्या युक्तो धृत्यात्मानं नियम्यते। शब्दादीन् विषयान् त्यक्त्वा रागद्वेषो विदस्यते। विविक्तसेवी लघ्वाशी यत्वाक्कायमानसः। ज्ञानयोगपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रितः। अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तो ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for reciting. So text number 49. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spruhah naishya karmya siddhim paramam sannyasena gachati. Asakta buddhi means having unattached uh, unattached intelligence. Asakta means like attached, and asakta means here unattached. That is what is given here. Sarvatra means everywhere. Jitatma means having control of a mind. Vigata spruha means without material desires. Naishya karmya siddhim means the perfection of non-reaction. Paramam, supreme. Sannyasya, by the renounced order of life. Adhigachati means one attains. Translation: one who is self controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyment can obtain by practice of renunciation the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. Anybody would like to read purport? Sumita Mataji.
Yes, Swatiji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Text number 49. Real renunciation means that one should always think himself part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and therefore think that he has no right to enjoy the results of his work. Since he is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, the results of his work must be enjoyed by the Supreme Lord. This is actually Krishna consciousness. The person acting in Krishna consciousness is really a sannyasi, one in the renounced order of life. By such a mentality, one is satisfied because he is actually acting for the Supreme. Thus, he is not attached to anything material. He becomes accustomed to not taking pleasure in anything beyond the transcendental happiness derived from the service of the Lord. A sannyasi is supposed to be freed from the reactions of his past activities, but a person who is in Krishna consciousness automatically attains this perfection without even accepting the so-called order of renunciation. This state of mind is called yogarud, or the perfectional state of yoga. As confirmed in the third chapter, Yasta Atma Ratireva Syat. One who is satisfied in himself has no fear of any kind of reaction from his activity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So from this verse onwards, like next verses, 5, 6 verses are discussing about the Jnana Yoga, how we can using the Jnana Yoga. The previous one was the Karma Yoga, and now the Jnana Yoga. How using this knowledge we can free ourselves, or we can completely offer our fruits of our activities to Krishna and become a Tyagi. That is what is Sri Krishna recommending to Arjuna. So, what is exactly Tyag? That is what we are learning through Jnana Yoga. So, here it is said that Jnana Yogi is the one who disregards all the material enjoyment that he can obtain by attaching himself to the by unattaching himself uh, uh, to the fruits of the activities, as well as while doing the activities also he can unattached, I mean he can distance himself while doing these activities, that without thinking about the result of the activities, without getting involved into the what will be, what will come out of it for me, he should just selflessly do the service. Then practice of the renunciation, the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction he can achieve. By this is the practice. Not everyone and anyone can do it at all the time. This is the practice, and we have to make sure that we are doing those efforts again and again. And intellectual person, or we are talking about the jnana yoga, so people they do it with the intelligence. And how do they do with the intelligence is like they listen about this, first of all, knowledge that aham brahmasmi. They practice on that particular aham brahmasmi, this statement, that like who we are actually, who everyone is, what is Brahman, how this is this material world real or what is it. And after studying that, after meditating on that, by using their, it is called as a vivek, that like you make sure that you are accepting that all the knowledge that you are processing. And then their vivek, sat vivek, we say that like their intelligence, which is very now clean intelligence, which is not conditioned, or which is not contaminated. So that kind of a intelligence, that kind of a shuddha intelligence, or that kind of a vivek buddhi, that they use to always do your work and still be detached from it. You are doing your work, so in the beginning they um, and also in Krishna consciousness also we do the same thing. There are many similarities, but we are talking about the jnana yoga right now, so I'm just pressing how what they do. So they also think about it, that like this is a service that I have to do it, or this is a work that I have to do it for the just because it is coming my way, and this is a my duty, that is the only intention of doing that. But because I'm a brahman, or I'm like I know that the Krishna is a brahman, because jnana yogi believes in his form as a brahman. So they believe that like he's a brahman, and then that purity, or that the pure consciousness I can also achieve. So let me do with that pure consciousness this work. So these are the Brahmavadis. They are called as the Jnana Yogis. But in Krishna consciousness also we can utilize the same principle. How do we do in Krishna consciousness? We also convince ourselves, or we also, because we are not realized, so we are just doing it theoretically. We are convincing ourselves that like we are Krishna's part and parcel, we are his servant, others are his also part and parcel and servant. Whatever paraphernalia, whatever this body, everything is given to me, it is to please Krishna, it is to do his service. So we do the, in the beginning uh, we do the sankalpa, that whatever activities I will do it, I will do it for the pleasure of the Krishna. Then while doing that activities, throughout doing that activities, we try to remember Krishna. But some activities won't allow us to remember Krishna and do, like Arjuna is fighting at that time, you have to be completely focused in the war. So what do you do in the beginning? You do the sankalpa, and while taking the decision in the war, like killing someone, you are doing it just as merely a duty, just because to please Krishna, just to establish the religion. I'm doing this activity with this mentality. You do this activity, there is no anger, there is no attachment, there is no any kind of other emotions other than the duty. When you do it out of anger, out of raga means like a too much of a attachment, krodha means anger, or lust means like with the greed or lust that I will get something out of it, then those activities are all contaminated activities. The fruit, it will get attached, you will get attached to the fruit of these activities, but you do it as a duty. You just do it, this activity, as a duty to Krishna's lotus feet, as a service to all the devotees. Do your duties, and after it is done also, you always say to yourself that Krishna did this work through me or through others also. So everyone is just an instrument, but the doer is real, doer is a Krishna. You have to always keep it in mind. With this attitude, you will not get attached to these activities, and also whatever is the fruit coming out of that activities, you can happily offer it to the Krishna. So this is a way of how we devotees, we do these practices. But right now we are learning about the Jnana Yogi. So one who is self-controlled. So now they are self-controlled means all these as I mentioned, that kama, krodha, lobha, bhaya, these are not at all, bothering them while doing these activities. They are very fearless. They are very, there is no lust in it. Lust in them while doing these activities. So there is a self control. Even if these emotions are coming through their mind, they will not entertain it much. And very nice example is given in Bhagavad Gita only. Just like if you sit on the shores, you will see that like in the ocean, you will see that so many different kind of waves they are forming, and after a while they will like become again a water. There will not be any kind of a wave. It is wave means it is a part of a water only. So you will see that some different forms are there, some different shapes are there. There is a lot of white what is it called, white part also you will see. So bubbles are there, so many things are there, but then it will become again a calm water. It will go back to the water, it will go back to the ocean. So same way these will come. It is because we are human beings. Sometimes this raga dvesha, it will come and it will go away. You just be calm after that also. So that is a self control, and they are unattached to the result of that activity. Even the activity also they are attached, like I have to do it, I have to, this is like, my life and death. These kind of statement that, like, you are attaching yourself to the activities, even to the service, will definitely take you down, because there should be detachment, there should be unattached. Like, this is a role given to me right now, but like at some other time, Krishna might give me different role. So your roles will keep on changing, and you have to be aware of that. Even if you are doing some service, you have to aware of that this service will be given to someone else tomorrow. So be detached, and then do your duties as if this is at this moment, this is given to me, so how can I do it perfectly? And Jnana yogis do all these things by convincing their mind, and then convincing their mind perfectly that, like, how I'm separate from this material body, how I'm separate from all these results of these activities, and also how I'm separate from this raga dvesha and all these things. These are all jada, these are all matter, and I am separate from that. I am very pure, and I'm very um, purest form. I'm always there. I'm Sat Chit and Anand. I'm always there. I existed before also, I'll be here also forever. But this matter is not a permanent, it is something different from me. And I am someone who is always experiencing happiness. I mean, like this experiencing happiness, or I will say that like my nature is happiness. So I am Sat, Chit, and Ananda. I am Chit means I'm always conscious. I'm always in knowledge. So with this always in mind, Gyanis do their activities with complete detachment, and they will disregard all the material enjoyment that is obtaining as a result of that activities. And by practicing this kind of a renunciation, the highest perfectional stage, that is freedom from the reaction, they will get, because we are all trying to get the freedom from this results of these activities, and because these results of these activities only making us suffer and making us like happy sometimes and sad sometimes. So the suffering is coming our way because we are attached to the activities that we are doing, and that is why we are getting entangled again and again and again. So highest stage of perfection is you are doing many kind of activities, but you are completely detached. None of these activities are kind of attached to you. You don't have to suffer for these activities, and you are doing just as a duty. So then that is a real freedom. Then the 50th verse, Siddhim prapno yatha brahma tathapnoti nibodh me samase naiva kaunteya nishta jnanasya yapara. So Siddhim means perfection, praptam means achieving, yatha means as, Brahma means the supreme, tatha means so, apnoti means one achieves, nibodha means try to understand, me means from me, Samasena means similarly, Eva certainly, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Nishta the stage, Jnanasya means to of knowledge, Ya which Para means transcendental. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman, the stage of the highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. So Krishna is again talking about the Brahman stage, means the jnanis who wants to achieve this Brahman stage. They want to sometimes become one with Brahman. That means they obtain a stage where they are completely, there is a awareness of a Brahman. I am Brahman, and then the whoever is a creator, he is a Brahman. That is the stage. And Krishna is saying that by achieving the perfection, as mentioned in the earlier verse, how will you achieve a perfection? That you are doing your duties, you are doing the work, but it is not attaching to you. So by achieving this perfection, you can attain the supreme stage of a Brahman, which is a perfection for a Jnana yogis. What is a perfection for a devotees? Perfection for a devotee is to achieve or to go back to the Golok Vrindavan, or achieve a stage when you feel that you are in a Golok Vrindavan, like not physically you are going somewhere, but you are here only, but you can recognize that Krishna is all around you, and your house is a Golok Vrindavan. People around you are like devotees of a Krishna, and you are doing in that mood all your activities. You are becoming a very humble servant of everyone. That is a perfection for a devotees. And this stage, and Krishna is talking about the perfection for a Jnana yogis. So, like they achieve the Brahman, that stage is a highest knowledge stage. They are in a complete knowledge at that stage. And by acting in this way, that I shall now summarize. So, how to achieve that? That is given in from 51 to 53. So, anybody would like to read this purport? Haladhar Das Prabhuji, would you like
Yes,
to?
yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, thank you. Uh, the purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord described for Arjun Maharaj how one can achieve the highest perfection stage simply by being engaged in his occupational duty, performing the duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One attains the supreme stage of Brahman simply by renouncing the results of his work for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. That is the process of self-realization. The actual perfection of knowledge is in attaining pure Krishna consciousness. That is the described in the following verses. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Again, that same thing is repeated in the purport, that how will you achieve the perfection stage. So we have to understand that there are karma yogis, there are jnana yogis, and then there are bhakti yogis. But ultimately, everyone is aiming to become a devotee of Krishna. Everyone's aim is to love Krishna. But then there are many different stages, many different steps, and very like a ladder. We are climbing a ladder. There are different steps are there, like different stages are there in the bhakti. There are different ways or paths are there in the bhakti. Someone trying to achieve it by achieve this bhakti by simply engaging themselves in a devotional service, like doing everything for the pleasure of the Krishna. Some people thinks that like Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. So I will serve the community, I will serve the human beings, I will serve the all the living entities, and that's how they get engaged in the activities. They are called as a karma yogis. And some they think that like I will study this different scriptures like Vedanta especially and Upanishads. And these Vedas and Upanishads, they are talking about the Krishna's Brahman form. And that Brahman form I will meditate on, and that Brahman form I will, I will try to realize by studying it and by using my intelligence. So these are the different ways, different paths, but ultimately everyone will come to the bhakti. Someone says that like yogis or jnanis, they say that we are doing jnanottar bhakti, means after achieving the knowledge, now we start our bhakti. But the devotees, those who are in Krishna consciousness, they start their bhakti from day one. Prabhupada tell them that like you do this, and it is not really a bhakti, but it is a practice, it is a sadhana, it is called as a upasana, that we are trying to do these activities, so someday we will feel Krishna's love in our heart. And also we will start doing our services for the pleasure of the Krishna. Right now we are doing for the pleasure of our guru, sometimes just because they told us, so we are doing these activities. But perfection will be achieved when you will achieve that, detachment while doing this work. You are not expecting anything after doing this work. So that stage is very hard to achieve, but we strive to achieve that stage. Let's see now text number 59 to 53. So one by one we will take these verses, or let's do it. These are together, okay? So buddhya means with intelligence. Vishuddha means by fully purified buddhi. Yuktaha engaged. So purified buddhi is engaged. And dhrutya by determination. Determination is a very important thing. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, we will hear so many time about the determination, because you are doing something today very enthusiastically. You are going to a class, you heard something, oh, let's start Krishna consciousness. And then if your determination is weak, and after like 2 days you start watching or engaging in the activities which are not Krishna conscious activities, your progress will go down. You will not find that enthusiasm again. So there should be determination. Whatever I am doing, I should do it like with a complete determination. Even like for doing the material activities, you need determination. If kids are going to the my son now, he's going to college. So if he chooses to do something like, engineering line, and tomorrow he thinks that no, I don't like that, I'll do something else, or oh, let me sit at home, and with determination he will not attend that college for the next 4 years and do the study properly, then he will not achieve the degree. So same thing in the spiritual life also, you need determination, but people take it very cheaply, that spiritual life is like, of all the knowledge, this is the most purest and highest knowledge, and you need the best teacher to explain this knowledge, and you need like complete concentration, complete determination. But how do we take this spiritual knowledge? We take it very cheaply. While doing all the activities, we listen some 1 or 2 lectures, then how much we implement, how much first of all we are listening, how much we implement on that, and how much we have a strong determination to keep going on that path. So we ourselves have to think. I mean, we have to do this swadhyay again and again. Unless you do your self-examination, you will not progress in this line, because this is like, getting into like, I know now MIT and all this Berkeley and Ivy colleges is so hard. It is harder than that is getting into the spiritual knowledge, and like, keep doing this. And whatever we are achieving, it is beyond this material world. It is something very amazing, very pure, very highest. So if you are achieving something very, very valuable, then you have to put so much, I mean, you have to put completely yourself into it. So you have to always remember while doing that, like just doing few things in the morning and just I'm done, that is not that by doing that you will not achieve your goal. Atmanam means the self, Nityam means regulating, Cha also, Shabdadin means such as a sound, Vishayan, the sense object, Tyaktva, giving up, Raga, attachment, Dvesha, of hatred, Vishuddhaya, laying aside, Cha also, Viveka Sevi means living in a Vivikta Sevi means living in a secluded place. Lagusi means eating a small quantity. Yata having controlled. Vaka means speech. Kaya means body. Manasaha means the mind. Dhyana yoga paraha means observed in trance. Nityam means 24 hours a day. Vairagya means detachment. Samupastritihi means having taken shelter of. Ahankaraham means false ego. Balam means false strength. Darpana means false pride. Kamam means lust. Krodham means anger. Parigraham means the acceptance of the material thing. Vimuchya means being delivered from. Nirmama means without a sense of proprietorship. Sanat Shantah means peaceful. Brahma Bhutaya means self-realized. And Kalpatah means is qualified. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination, giving up the objects of the sense gratification, being freed from attachment and hatred, one who live in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind and power of speech, who is always in trance and who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of a material thing, free from false proprietorship and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of a self realization. So these are the things we should strive to achieve. This is our sadhana, to try to achieve these whatever are the given. These looks like a characteristics, but these are our goal. These are the things that we should acquire, and then only we will achieve the Brahman stage. So purport is yeah, two people can volunteer to read this purport. Anybody would
Hare
like
Krishna
to?
Mataji, Danvat Pranam, you can read this
Dandavad
one.
pranam. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When one is purified by intelligence, he keeps himself in the mode of goodness. Thus one becomes the controller of the mind and is always in trance. He is not attached to the objects of sense gratification, and he is free from attachment and hatred in his activities. Such a detached person naturally prefers to live in a secluded place. He does not eat more than what he requires, and he controls the activities of his body and mind. He has no false ego because he does not accept the body as himself, nor he has a desire to make the body fat and strong by accepting so many material things. Because he has no bodily concept of life, he is not falsely proud. He is satisfied with everything that is offered to him by the grace of the Lord, and he is never angry in the absence of sense gratification, nor does he endeavor to acquire sense objects. Thus, when he is completely free from false ego, he becomes non attached to all material things, and that is the stage of self realization of Brahman. That stage is called Brahma Bhuta stage. Anyone wants to continue?
Anybody would like to read? Aladadas Prabhuji?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yes, please go ahead.
When one is free from the material conceptions of the life, he becomes peaceful and cannot be agitated This is the described in Bhagavad Gita 2.70. Apuryamanam achala pratistam samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sasanti mapnoti nakama kami. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of the desire and enter like a river into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
It's a
Thank you so
beautiful word.
much.
So
Yeah,
beautiful word.
very beautiful purport. And
Yeah.
very nicely step by step it is given that first we have to purify our intelligence. Buddhi is a place where the lust resides, and this intelligence is the one that will, like, tell us what is right and wrong. That intelligence is impure. You yourself are having like a lot of misunderstanding and misconception. You haven't purified your intelligence, then that intelligence will not, will take you anywhere. Impure intelligence will take you only down. So once you purify your intelligence, then by keeping yourself in a mode of a goodness, you have to keep yourself in a mode of goodness means you listen all your, in your body is having so many gates which will be like, inwards. They are taking things from outside world into your body, into your intelligence, into your mind. So your eyes are taking, your ears are taking, your mouth is taking, also your, even, your skin, by touching something also you are taking. So these are all knowledge acquiring senses. Also smell is there. So with this all the knowledge acquiring senses, if you acquire something which is in a mode of a goodness, you are smelling the very mode of a goodness smell. There are some smells which are like, I was looking at the perfumes the other day in the shop to get for my to buy for as a gift to someone. So there are perfumes which are like passion perfume. So they are like a very passionate. So that time I came to know that there are like a different smells also which will put you into some some mode, particular mode. We know that, like, where always when there are very dirty or where very stinky smells are there, which will take you to the mode of tamo good, or like, you will be disturbed for a fraction of a second, that, oh, from where this smell is coming. So if the vegetables are rotten or something, then you must have experienced it sometime. So these are the smell. You have to keep yourself away from that passion and those which are taking you down to the mode of a ignorance or tamogun. But you have to always take a very mild and a smile mode of a goodness smell. And above that is the devotees. They always smell only the beautiful flower and attar which is offered to the Krishna, essence offered to the Krishna. So these are like a smell which are like even beyond the three modes, because these are offered to Krishna. But at least keep yourself in a mode of a goodness where wherever you are not, it is not possible to be, always having, beyond these three mode, I mean, of course, these things are available, but if you are not at to the, your adhikar is not there, then at least try to be in a mode of a goodness. And by keeping yourself in a mode of goodness, by eating the food in a mode of a goodness, not the passionate food, not the rotten food. So onion and garlic, Prabhupada and so many people, they declares that onion garlic, they increase the passion. So it's not about the ISKCON. If whoever are studying the scriptures in our Hindu mythology, or even beyond Hindus also, they make sure that they are eating very sattvic food. We are eating very less quantity of a food, not very fried food or anything. They keep their food very simple. They put like very less amount of time in preparing that food, and also these foods are very light, so that it will digest very quickly. So these are the food in a mode of a goodness. And then of course the eyes should be also reading something which is in a mode of a goodness, looking at the things which are in a mode of a goodness. So these are the different ways of keeping yourself in a mode of goodness, and by keeping yourself in a mode of goodness, automatically your intelligence will purified. And when your intelligence is purified, it is very strong, and then it can control your mind. And when the mind is under the control of the intelligence, it is rightly aligned, because right now our mind is like above our intelligence. Our mind is controlling our intelligence, and our senses are talking to mind and saying that I want this, I want that. So everything is disaligned, so you have to make sure that it is aligned. So what is the hierarchy? Our soul, and then below our soul is our intelligence. Intelligence is controlling mind, mind is controlling our senses, and then senses are giving order to this jada, or we will say that this outer body. This is the it is also called as a annamay kosh, or these our hands, legs, and all these karmendriya. It is all asking them to do the activities accordingly. So if it is like that, then we are always in a peaceful, and very transcendental happiness we can experience if it is aligned properly. If it is disturbed, if your mind is talking something rubbish and you are entertaining that, then you will not experience this peace. And I experience that many a times. It is very, very difficult to keep them aligned. And what is the only way? It is to chant or hear something very nice, and that is the only moments I can take away myself from everything else and then aligned in such a way that I can experience the peace. Otherwise, our mind is always disturbed and always taking you in a wrong direction, always talking to us and disturbing us, like in a very our intelligence in a very harsh way. And our intelligence is then, like, all distracted intelligence will ask us to do so many things, and then we don't have a control over our tongue, and then that way everything falls apart. And this we experience again and again and again. So here, like in a material life, also in a spiritual life, sometimes you feel very helpless. Failure is there, that, like, how can I do that? I mean, I feel many, many, many times after talking something, insulting devotee, doing something, because I think that I'm right and others are wrong. You do that, and it is helplessly, it is done by you, and this is a helpless failure. And you feel that, oh, I'm not progressing in Krishna consciousness, so I should not walk on this path at all. But then you have to again and again, with the help of devotees, also try to be in Krishna consciousness, try to do it again. Then there will be the struggled failure, means you are trying hard but still you are failing. Then there is a struggled success, means when you are trying very hard, sometimes you are getting a success, that very few time you are able to control your tongue right now, or very few times you are able to behave correctly. So it is a struggled success. It is like a stage 3. Stage 4 is now you are getting like a effortless success, means now you don't have to really try hard, but effortlessly you are able to control your tongue, you are able to control your senses, you are able to control your mind, that mind shut up and don't think about in that direction. Or mind, even if the devotee is that way, you don't have to entertain that. It's okay, it's between him and Krishna. And then you do your services properly. So this will happen effortlessly after practicing for a long time and staying in Krishna consciousness. And then these are the 4 stages that you will experience. So as I was mentioning, that helpless failure means one feel that I cannot do this, so I will give up. But you should not be giving up that. And many devotees, they give up in Krishna consciousness. I was hearing 2 days back only that lecture where they are saying that because they don't have a good devotee circles around them, so they try to give up. So please try to help people who are trying to give up Krishna consciousness. Then struggle in, and again, do not take a credit of that, because Krishna is giving you intelligence to do that. You are just a instrument. So do not again become pride that you are helping someone. That pride will take you again down. So you have to just always think that you are just an instrument, I am doing that, and leave it aside. Then struggle in failure, then you are not able to sometimes, you are successful but you are struggling. So struggle and failure, so one decide I'm not going to involve in this, but still a person, he does it anyway, or he is attached to it anyway. He says that no, but he is attached to it. Then struggle and success. So after stage 2 there is a struggle and success. So one takes resolution, um, but feels that pull of temptation. Means I took a resolution that I will chant 16 rounds, but in the morning there is so much pull of temptations that, like, my husband and kids are talking outside, something is going on here, there. So that temptation is there that I should open my eyes, look here, look there. Or there are some kind of a, if I'm getting very early in the morning, then still there is something, some kind of a noise, voice is coming from outside. So temptation are there. And then through this temptation we might get pulled sometimes, but sometimes we are still able to successfully pray Krishna, and that is a success in, but in struggle. And it takes inspiration from the scripture, and lot of hearing, lot of guidance from the devotees. You need lot of help from every side, and then you are able to be, you are able to control and keep your intelligence steady. And then there is a effortless success, that eventually there is a effortless success. This comes when we become very strong in a spiritual life, and we become very situated in a spiritual taste. I mean, we really like this spiritual life better than everything else. The taste is there, and that is the only thing which will keep you here. If you don't have a taste, then then your your senses will pull you in the other directions. Then there is no temptation, and one goes beyond the temptation, and that is a effortless and success. So very nice stories given, like how we are controlling and then we are still not able to. So there is a baby elephant, and it is it is tied with the shackles. His shackles are on his leg, and that baby elephant is trying to pull, and then when it is pulling, um, it is hurting, it is bleeding that baby elephant's leg, because its legs are not that much strong, and it is paining. And eventually that baby elephant thinks that no, it is very painful to pull this shackle, so I will just stay in this shackle. And baby elephant gets used to it, and after a long time, baby elephant turns into a strong big elephant. And now for this elephant, it is so easy. He is so strong that even if he will move his leg, that shackles can come out. But because he is having that impression in his mind that if I pull, I will get hurt, he will not even try to do that. So sometimes this is our position, that like we are trying and struggling so many times to come out of our temptation, to behave properly, to respect. We are trying all these things, and sometimes we give up, and we just don't want this Krishna consciousness. And this is like our baby elephant stage, that like there is a pain and I don't want it. But when you grow stronger and stronger and stronger, these temptations are like very insignificant shackles, that we can just move our leg and it will all break apart. So we have to believe in that, and that will happen. We will become strong only when we will get connected to the Krishna. When Krishna's energy, when Krishna's power is there, when he empowers us, nothing can stop us. So this is a wonderful thing about the Krishna consciousness. Slowly we will discover that, like, we are getting this power, we are getting there. Like, I mean, Krishna is empowering us, and that's how we are able to go beyond these temptations. But for that, from our side, we have to stay here and we have to keep trying. Two things we have to do it. Okay, so there are a lot other things, but I will just complete reading this purport again, and Okay, so it is again saying that like detached person can live in the secluded place. Secluded place doesn't mean that when in for a jnana yogi, secluded place is going to the forest or something like that. But for devotees, secluded place means, you know, stay in a place where like you are not outwardly, you know, involved, but you are inwardly involved. You are secluded, means you are not attached to the activities going around you. You are still focused on your sadhana, and you are focused on Krishna. It doesn't matter like what devotees around you are doing. They are falling down, they are getting up, it's okay. You be yourself and you try to do your bhakti. Sometimes you find that you're failed to, you know, behave properly, but then still continue doing that. Such a detached person, naturally he prefers to live in a secluded way. He will not go to the, you know, places where there is always a crowd and, you know, devotees are talking about the other devotees. You know, don't have to go there. Just be at home and do the Krishna conscious activities. And then there is no false ego, so that's why there will not be he accepted that I'm not this body, and I'm a part and parcel of the Krishna. Like the Gyanis accept that I am a Brahman. I'm like, you know, part of a Krishna, but I am a Brahman. And there is no entertainment of the body's requirement. There is no entertainment of like, you know, giving body, like, you know, satisfying my tongue, satisfying my ear. So that is easily done. And then he is satisfied overall in his bhakti, his sadhana, and slowly he will try to find the happiness or the ananda which is within him. Only thing is, because it is covered, he's not experiencing that. But when he is properly situated, all those covering will be removed, and slowly he will experience that wonderful happiness which is within him. So that is the Brahman realization. That is the stage that Krishna is saying that you can achieve. And all that can be done by starting with doing the your activity, varnashram activities properly. And always aim of this varnashram activities should be to samsiddhim haritoshanam, to do the or satisfy the Krishna's senses, to satisfy and make Krishna happy and not ourselves. Okay, with this, I will stop here. If there is any comment on these five verses, please. And also, one more announcement that, like, next week I won't be there. So you can meditate on these verses and go back on the karma and this with the purport karma and jnana yoga, because there are a lot of points that you can discuss again. So you can go back and read these 10 verses with purport. You don't have to repeat the shlokas and everything, but read the translation purports and really meditate on that. These are very, very wonderful verses. Even if half a verse or even the one word of this verse, if you can implement in your life will be successful and you will achieve that perfection. So try to just meditate and go on these only. When I will come back, I will start from 55. I might join during your discussion, but I might not be in a position to talk. But yes, please, my request, humble request is go over these verses. Up to 53 we did. So please, up to 53 you can meditate on, and 54 onwards we will do. Yeah. So any comment? Whatever we did from 49 to 54.
With your permission, Mataji, may I please?
Please, Prabhuji.
Uh, the one verse we saw at the 2.70, it is a real most beautiful verse. And if you really practically want to realize what the Lord is saying about it, see, apuryamanam achala pratistam samudra mapaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kama ayam pravishanti sarve sasanti mapnoti nakamaka. Really gorgeous way you can do practically, which, I have tried it and realized what the Lord is saying it. And it does not take very much time, but the short time you can practice it, by, if let's say, especially in the evening is the best time. before you go to bed, especially. So these you wanna really try it. Uh, get the chair. A lonely place, maybe quieter place is better. In your bedroom or somewhere where you in your house where there's no noise. And think about like the description say a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of the desires that enter like the rivers into ocean which is ever being filled but is always still can alone achieve peace and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So we can imagine those parts, but can we feel it? Yes, we can do it. So sit down on a chair straight, close your eyes, and just like a simple example, just like you're watching a freeway road and you are just become an observer, you just become witness of what's happening on the streets. Many cars and trucks and going up and down different directions, opposite directions. Same thing, you can sit down and see, close your eyes and see it like you become only witness of the thoughts coming in your brain. They do come without your permission and they leave without your permissions.
Mm.
These thoughts, when you keep watching, just like close your eyes and see, not you, make sure you're not thinking, but you're just become observer, you become witness of these thoughts coming in your brain. And
Mm.
gradually you will realize the thoughts coming and leaving you, coming and leaving. But same time, you say neti neti, it's not mine, it's not mine, it's not mine, it's not mine. And constantly, as soon as you accept the thoughts, it's yours, it'll affect your body. We have 37 trillion cells in our body. Each thought affects your body, accordingly. So these practices, you realize that you are just a witness of activities happening in your bodies. The thought affects to you so much, 100%. Just like you go to laundromats and you see you ask for your clothes and they're circulating all the clothes and exact number comes and give you your shirts or whatever. And that same thing, thoughts affects you. And gradually, if you practice more, maybe initially you try 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 10 minutes, and you realize that you living in this body, you are the resident in this body. The body is given to you by the Mother Nature according to your past karmas. And you are just the witness of this. This
Mm.
coordinate with
Mm.
many verses in Bhagavad Gita.
Mm.
And you be surprised gradually, what a beautiful things you learn in your life. What is the practical you can prove these
Mm.
verses. And
Mm.
gradually the flow of the thoughts will be slowing down because you are not accepting it.
Mm.
And the
Mm.
peaceful
Mm.
situation will arrive to you. Try it. It's not very hard. You need the patience, and you will really enjoy of this verse. Beautiful verses. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Even my Guru Maharaj, when he start his evening lectures on Friday evening, he gives lectures. So we do this kind of a meditation where, yeah. So even after chanting, during chanting, we are supposed to like focus completely on our uh, mantras. But after that, if you can sit quietly and just observe yourself, what is going on within you, like Prabhuji was saying that, like, observing only the thoughts like coming and going away, or just focus on the breathing, and that also helps you calm down so much. So these are really good practices. Thank you, Prabhuji. And one more, one of my friend suggested me. I did it for a few days and I left it, but it was very nice that like writing a journal and thinking that like whatever your mind is thinking right now, just addressing your mind as a third person, like giving some name, like that my mind's name, that person who suggested me, that she said that, like I gave my mind a name, like as a chanchal. So because it's always flickering. And Prabhuji, who mentioned that, like one of the ISKCON devotee, he gave it in his lecture. He was saying that chanchala, that is what his name I gave to my mind, that chanchala is now talking to me, this way. Chanchala is thinking that she wants something. So like as a third person, always looking at the mind, and then you slowly think, you will come to a point where you start realizing that you are separate from your mind. And that is also very good exercise. So many options we had given. I really liked what Prabhuji is saying. I'll try it in the evening, Prabhuji, today, and I will share my experience next time. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari Bol. Anybody else, anything you learned today? You can just reflect also. You don't have to always say something new. You can just repeat that this part I really like, this part I will implement, or this is my question, or anything is fine. Like as a service to Krishna, you can just comment. We have 4 minutes left, and then we will end our class.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Very, very nice explanation. Mainly, Prabhuji, he gave a very nice analogy, like the thoughts that we have to watch. And I used to do that in my yoga class. But the only thing we have to be very careful while doing that is we have to be just watching that. We have to be like a witness, not getting involved again, because these thoughts are so tricky, like a Maya. When we get involved and start thinking about that, that will drag us in a different direction again. That's what I observed. Because when we calmly watch, that may be minimal and going slowly, but the mind, again, as you said, Chenchal, it will pull us again into those details, and what happens if you do like this, and if that day what happened. Maybe mainly it comes from the past incidents that we have involved, and when we hurt and we are not able to answer at that point. And mainly I see many of the other people also getting involved and not able to come out of that. But keeping the mind in that stage, not involved, and just keeping as a witness, that is very key point. Maybe that's what I observed. And yeah.
It is truly, yes.
Yeah.
You just become a witness of it, watching something on the freeway.
Yeah.
Many cars go, a truck goes, or different color cars comes. Yeah, you just become, you don't involved in it. Just become observers, witness of it.
Yeah. That happens, we will experience when something is going on in the family also, at the table, or when relatives comes. We'll just try to jump into the conversation. Instead of that, just we keep it calm and do our job and just keep listening, or even ignoring is better instead of listening to those conversations. That's what I feel sometimes. So the time will change everything, but once we open up our mind, it will be flowing into our speech, right? So calm the mind and the speech will slowly. That's why they say mauni, right? Keeping it silent is very important at such in situations. And also, Mataji, the example you gave of a baby elephant, that is very new for me, and it is struck me like maybe that's the thing, because in the childhood we had those conditions and we still feel that is the same. We have to try it again so that we can come out of the clutches and all that. Very, very nice example, Mataji. Hare Krishna, thank you a lot.
Thank you so much, Mataji. I took it from Chaitanya Charandas Prabhuji's notes. So thank you. I also really liked it, because many a times we give up at the point where, like we are there, and we just think that, like, no, I can't do it anymore, and we just feel like giving up. But even I like that.
They made a lot of experiments also on this, how the mind will think, and it will be in our body completely digested, and it will go to the genes, and it will be carried to the next generation also. That's what they found. because even the baby elephant, when it grows up and it is asking kids also not to do that, because it has its own experience, as we see the example of a cat and how they use it to cover it in a basket, right? Same thing, we don't know when it started, and it is cultivated, and it is progressing into the next generations also.
Shall we do a Hare Krishna mantra for 30 devotees lost their lives in Kumbh Mela, and also the accident happened in Washington with the
Sure,
Yes.
Prabhuji,
plane
Washington and
and
also the Philadelphia thing also.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Yes.
of things in the
So
aviation.
sad.
So very
three
Yes.
sad.
times Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
We will do
Yeah.
that for just a minute, Prabhuji, if anyone
Sure.
is having any reflection or
Oh,
comment.
sure.
Because I see that Vamshi Vilas Das Prabhuji is there, Vikas Prabhuji, Vinod Prabhuji is there,
Sure, yeah,
Sumati
please.
Mataji is there. So any comment, just one small statement will also help us understand that if you are understanding these classes or if there is any reflection.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I really like the point in which you mentioned that we have to treat the mind as the third person. So like we make a journal and then we write things and we're like, oh, today my mind told me to do that. So I really like that point, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Wonderful reflection. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna. No specific comment, Mataji. Very beautiful class. Everything is so very nicely explained. I was just reflecting on something where Prabhupada in the purport has said that a person is free from false ego. And Prabhupada has described that false ego is basically thinking that we are not this body and that we are the soul within. And then, the last word of, where verse 53 ends is, Brahma Bhoot stage. And we know from chapter 8, verse 1 to 3, where Krishna is actually, Arjuna is asking, what is Brahma, what is karma, etc. So in there, Krishna describes Brahma is nothing else but the eternal, transcendental, living entity. So our soul is Brahma. Once we realize that we are the soul, then we are Brahma Bhuta. And then Prabhupada has also said that there are only two stages to Krishna consciousness in a true sense. That one, you need to know who you are. And then from there, Brahmabhut Prasannatmana Shochati the Kankshati, which is the next verse, that you will actually get into the uh, service of Krishna from that point on in a true sense. So I was reflecting on that, and what we are talking about, whether through Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Buddhi Yoga, is to get to that stage where we are Anartha Nivritti has happened, that we are free from this material world. And again, the only way we can be free from material world, or the test of being free from material world, is we think of ourselves as the soul at all times. If we are able to see that we are the soul and not the body, say for a minute in the day, then that is a little bit of realization. The more constantly we continue to think that we are the soul, then we are, and not the body, that is the measure of success. And for how long we stay, that is the state of trance. That is what I believe Prabhupada is saying. So this is how I was reflecting on these verses. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very nice realization. Okay, so we will stop here. You can meditate on these verses in the next class. I will try to join, but then after that, we will continue our study from 54 onwards. We're almost there. From past 2-3 years. We are studying, maybe more than 3 years, Bhagavad Gita. So we are almost at the end of the Gita. So I'm really happy that we will be able to complete that soon. Let's pray, do our prayer. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, नामाचार्य
Yeah.
श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, श्रील
Yeah.
प्रभुपाद की जय, भगवत गीता की जय,
Yeah.
श्रीमद्
Yeah.
भागवतम की जय।
Yeah.
जय
Yeah.
राधे राधे।
जय राधे राधे,
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
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 Krishna,
हरे
Hare
हरे,
Hare,
हरे
Hare
राम
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
हरे
Hare
राम,
Ram,
राम
Ram
राम
Ram,
हरे
राम
हरे,
हरे
हरे
Krishna, Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna,
कृष्णा कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण
हरे,
हरे हरे,
हरे राम
हरे
Ram
राम
Ram,
हरे
राम
राम,
राम
राम
Ram
हरे
हरे
Rama,
हरे,
Hare Hare,
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
कृष्णा
Krishna
हरे
कृष्ण
हरे,
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
हरे,
हरे
Hare,
राम
हरे राम हरे
राम
राम,
हरे
राम
Ram
राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
हरे,
Hare,
thank you,
Hare
हरे
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा।
कृष्ण।